Hey my friends, it's your boy Banner and welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. It's been a bit, my friends. I haven't done a video in probably about 2 weeks and it has been quite a rough couple of weeks. But that ain't nothing saying that I am here. My friends, I am still here doing my thing. Today, what we're going to do, I want to tackle this mixed forest that I've done. It is now about 4 months old, but the growth has been going quite well. So there are some really long, nice extending branches that I want to prune back to try and compact this growth just a bit. And just do a little cleanup of the forest, a little cleanup, and put it aside to grow a bit more. So let me bring you in closer for a look at it as it is right now in its nice wild state, and then let's get to work. So as I hold the camera in front of it, you see there's a nice long branch extending from the ironwood tree, and as you look down into it, it looks really very nice. I like how it looks. The trees have grown quite well, so we're going to go around coming from this side, but I have one tree that is suffering a bit. So you can see the growth is quite dense. You can't see between the top growth at all, really. Now we have this little bloodwood here, and I think he's suffering from the fact that he's not getting any sun. He's shaded out completely. So I'm going to have to find a better spot for this forest where everybody could get equal bits of sun after I finish doing this pruning. This branch here, if you could see this branch here, this has completely died off because the tops of these bloodwood trees have grown quite well and shaded out everybody else, shaded out all the other branches. The rain tree is doing well in the back here. If you look at the roots, spreading nicely, creating that nice flare. This next rain tree here is doing well. Coming around to the other side, these two ironwood trees are doing well, and they're growing up and up and up and up and up. Some really long shoots. And coming back to the front, where I have the two variegated water jasmine trees, they are also doing well. And I have here my son.
Hello.
So he is here with me, and we're taking advantage of a sunny afternoon. So as I was saying, we're back here to the water jasmine, and they are doing well. They filled out quite nicely. So we're just going to go around giving everybody a little bit of a prune. And we're going to come back and look at this. Yeah? So let me just go. So I'm trying to position the camera where you could see what I'm doing while I'm doing it. Sometimes I'm going to be talking, sometimes I'm not going to say much at all. Because, you get swept up in your work, and 1 minute you're making a sentence and next minute you're just working. Or at least that's how it is work with me. But first things first, I think I'm going to tackle this water jasmine and prune back some of this growth for a little bit of doing a bit of directional pruning. Now, not taking too much, because these are really young plantings. I only do this 4 months ago. So I want I don't want to overdo it. That is why I'm not tackling I'm just giving it a light prune because I want for some of these shoots to split and to give me secondary and tertiary growth. Because right now I have a lot of singular branches that's shooting out quite a lot, and the leaf nodes, the distance between the leaf nodes are quite far because it's fighting for sun. So I really need to find a better space so that all the trees could get all the sun that it needs so that this planting could thrive. And while I'm saying that, my friends, life is such a funny thing, I say that to say this week I got some really very sad news. One of my childhood friends passed away. A really, really very good friend of mine. We maintained that friendship for years since I was a little boy. And she's a couple of years older than I am. But we maintained that friendship through life. We got married, had children. We still maintained that friendship. And it threw me for a very big loop when I got news that she passed away. Something that we all know it's inevitable. It happens. Everybody has to face it, but that don't make it any easier. Doesn't make it any easier. So I am remembering my friend Nicole today, my friends. It's really, really very, very sad. It was totally unexpected. Totally, totally unexpected. But it happened, and it reminds you of how fragile and fleeting life is. Reminding you, reminding me, reminding all of us to appreciate what we have. We're going to prune back this branch because it's shooting from way over here. Life is fragile. Tomorrow is promised. There is something that my grandparents used to say. Tomorrow is promised to no one. Make use of the time that you have now when you have it. So yeah. Anyways, so I did some light pruning, taking off some tips to this water jasmine, trying to open it up a little bit. And it may not look open right now, but it's a lot better than where it was. And I'm wondering about this growth down here. These trees are still not totally settled. There's still a little bit of movement in some of them, but that's okay. It's young. There are plenty growing to grow. Plenty going to go. So I have a branch in the back here. Take that off. And I think that is it for this. So we're going to go around pruning back, doing a bit of directional pruning to everybody because you want to give everybody a nice piece of space to grow, their own space so that they could grow and thrive and not be shaded out by anybody else. That's one of the things with forests and maintaining a forest. You need to ensure that each individual tree within your forest gets its own bit of sunlight and sunshine so that it could grow and grow healthy. And that is why in forest you have a lot of trees with no branches low down. They're they're all the branches and the foliage high up because it's all where the sun is. They're all shooting up to where the sun is. And one of the examples of that is where I showed you here, where this branch right here, died off. And these branches here, on this little one, let me turn it a little bit. As you can see, this little bloodwood is suffering quite badly in the back here because it's not getting the sunlight that it needs. So the growth on this one is quite weak. Very, very, very weak. So we need to fix that. I need to fix that today. Yeah, so I'm going to go around pruning back a number of things, and then we're going to come back and take a look at it and see what we have happening here. Well, listen, yeah. One of the toughest bits of pruning I've had to do so far, and to be quite honest, I've been working on this one particular tree for a little bit. It's this one, removing growth from different points, trying to foster more using the directional pruning method and trying to create more compacted growth for this one particular tree, because this one particular tree has been growing quite vigorously, but I want to compact the growth a bit more because it grew to the point where it has been shading out quite a lot of the other trees. So I worked on this one. I'm going to continue working in this bloodwood section. So I'm going to do a bit of work on this fella. I already cut back some, but I want to do a little bit of work to free up some of these, to kind of give it its own space. And I'm not doubting the work that I did. I like the work that I did, but I'm realizing, some things that you realize as you're going along in a journey. Creating these forests and maintaining these forests are quite tough bits of work. It's complex bits of work, because if you want to have a healthy looking forest or pending or whatever the case is, where you have multiple trees occupying almost the same space, you have to go in and do finer work, over the time, trying to compact that growth so that each tree, as I said before, would grow healthy in your little pending, your little planting. Whether it be a mixed forest or a straight forest, you have to make sure that each tree is getting sufficient growth and that it looks, at the end of the day, it looks like a miniature tree. There's that saying, don't try to make your tree look like a bonsai, but try to make your bonsai look like a tree. And this is where I am looking at it. It's not to say that this is easy. No, it is not. Giving me a better understanding of how detailed Nigel's work is, and everybody else who does these types of bonsai plantings is. It's a real thing. This is a patience, time taking type of a venture. I like forests, I love forests. But one of the things with forests is that you have to have the patience, just like any other bonsai. But in this instance, you have to have the patience to sit with your body of work, go through each individual tree to make it look more realistic, bringing it back into some kind of a focus. So as I'm going along and doing, as I said, I'm doing some directional pruning, removing branches that growing in spots that not necessarily the best or would possibly die off, so that the energy that that particular branch was taking could be redirected to branches that I want. So I have this coming up here, and I have a branch coming out here. And I'm wondering if I need this branch coming out here, and I don't think I need it. So I'm going to take that off, because he went straight across into the other tree. And I brought this back quite a bit. This planting is quite dry. So when I finish this, I'm going to give this a very good watering and some fertilizer, because we're doing some serious work to this planting today. Right, so continuing on in this section, and then I'm going to come back and look at it, and then I'm going to move on to the rain trees. Now, in between, there might be a branch from another tree that getting in my way. I might just prune it. So that is it. That is how it is. We're moving on now. Going on to this next tree here, and I have to look at what is the best angle that I could take to get to it. Right? We're going on. We're going on. So as I continue to go through, I think I kind of finish this side of the planting. It is quite a lot clearer. There has been a lot of removals to encourage more compacted growth, and to give, as I keep saying, to give each individual tree its own space. Now, some were a little bit more complex than others. For example, this particular tree in the center here, it has a nice piece of growth going up here, and and I don't want to take off this branch, because I find that kills the uniqueness of that particular tree. I took off a branch lower down on this water jasmine here, and this side has opened up quite a bit. So now I'm going to go to this side, the craziness, where I have the two Brazilian rain trees in the back, and the two Brazilian ironwood trees in the front here. So when I come back, we're going to take an overall look at the forest and see what's the happenings if we saying something here. Okay, my friends, so I did some cleaning up of my mixed planting or mixed forest. Don't know if it's a forest, but it's a mixed planting for sure. So I did a lot of pruning. Here's the bucket of evidence. And I pruned back quite a bit of these trees. They were going well, but I need to start focusing on a bit of directional pruning to ensure that each tree gets what it needs to survive and to thrive. And I'm wondering now, looking at it, should I add more trees to this, or is this good as is? I could put another rain tree and another ironwood, to occupy. This part of the forest looks a lot more dense with trees, whereas this side is a lot clearer. Now, this is a little makeshift walkway kind of thing that I put, and in time we will do a little bit more refinement to it. Right now, the concentration, what I am concentrating on is that this survives and does quite well and thrives. And eventually, when we move it over into a pot that was made specially for this, we could, refine and do all the pretty things, all the fancy thing. But let me know what you guys think in the comments on how it looks. Let me give you a 360. So we're going around and you're getting an opportunity to see through the trees versus where we started. You couldn't see through them at all. And there's probably still one or two things that could be taken out as I'm going around. I seen a branch here that it not going where I want it to go. So I'm gonna just prune this back, opening up that space just a bit more. And we are here at the back where the rain trees are. This doesn't look so bad as a front as well, It doesn't at all. So that's another thing that I have to think about. Whether the other side is the front or this is the front. It looks good to me. You all let me know what you think. When we're coming back around, this is the other side. And we are coming back around to the initial front. So that is it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Click that like button. It helps, my friends. It allows for the channel to reach more people, and give other people inspiration to get into bonsai and try different things. Try your hand. You will feel. I ain't saying you're going to be successful all the time. You're going to have some failures, but you're going to have some great successes, and you're going to get a lot of knowledge and experience in the interim. As I started, my friends, I mentioned the passing of one of my friends, Nicole Jules. Remembering Nicole in this time, remembering her family throughout this period and beyond. My friends, we really have to take stock of ourselves, take stock of our health. Not saying that she wasn't taking stock, not saying that I'm not taking stock, not pointing a finger at anybody. But you really have to take the time to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. You see something, say something. You find that they're not looking as well as they should. Encourage them. Go to the doctor, get a checkup, do a physical, do what is necessary to ensure that you you did what you needed to do to extend your life to the best of your ability. Yeah. So sad moment, but I. Anyways, my friends, as I usually say, be good to yourself, be good to others, treat people how you want to be treated. And remember that our planet, our climate is our responsibility. We have an opportunity to change it for the better. If not for ourselves, let's do it for the future generations. Click that like button, it helps. Drop those comments. I like reading and responding to the comments. If you have not subscribed as yet, now is a good time to do so. And share. If you know anybody that will benefit from the work that I'm doing, be a friend. Share it. Share it. And on that note, my friends, I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.